Good morning, everyone. It is 7:28 right now, and time to visit with our good friend Kim Baer as we're talking some legal stuff right now and talking about something that I think a lot of people, if they're not already involved in an LLC, a limited liability company, you might want to consider it because there's a lot of advantages to things like this.
There really are. So we work at my law firm. We work with a lot of small businesses, and so this is one of the questions that we get all the time from them. I also work with the Immigrant and Entrepreneur Summit, and I teach a class every year to people who are thinking about starting a business, or maybe they already have a business. And one of the things that I really try to drill into them is you have got to have an LLC. And the reason for that is because it protects you. It kind of creates either a fort or a shield around you so that if something goes wrong with your business and somebody's going to sue, they sue the business. They don't sue you personally. So it's just wonderful. It's not very expensive to set up. And so I thought maybe I'd give you an example.
Okay.
And does it matter like the level of business that they have? You know, I have a lot of friends that have like side, you know, they do art or what have you. So it's small, but is there a certain level that you kind of need to be at before you consider the LLC? Or
well, there's really not. So let me give you an example. We have a lot of people that come in that make cupcakes, or they design candy, and some of them sell it out of their house, or they sell it on Etsy. And those types of people, usually they show up at my law firm because now there's been a problem, and they never thought, well, what could go wrong? Well, maybe they didn't like your cupcakes and they feel like you ruined their wedding, and now they're talking about filing a lawsuit. Well, they might, if they're going to sue, they're going to sue you personally if there's no LLC. Or God forbid, what if there was something wrong with your eggs and somebody got food poisoning? You know? So there's all sorts of things that could go wrong, and the LLC. So it's a limited liability company. We get it set up. Usually it's for one member. It's just for one owner. So it's usually pretty small. But we do set up LLCs sometimes for landscaping companies where there's several people, or electrical companies, you know, or somebody who's a painter or something like that. What
about somebody, especially this time of year now, especially with the weather that we've had this year, with people that are plowing snow?
Yes. So plowing snow. You know, a lot of our land.
Oh, true.
A lot of the lawn people do the snow in the winter time.
Right.
Yes. And so, you know, what happens if you take out a side of a building, you know, or you take out somebody's car because you didn't see it, or you take out their sign? I mean, you know, or, you know, we just had an issue, you know, where somebody took out a whole bunch of grass because they didn't know where it ended, and we're kind of like, oh, well, yeah, we're going to have to have that fixed, you know. So, what we do, if you come in and you say, hey, I'm thinking about an LLC, we would first explain to you that you need to know that there are some tax benefits usually as well for setting up an LLC, and that's something you'll want to talk to your accountant about. But what we do is we say, okay, what name would you like? We research on the Secretary of State to make sure that you can use that name, that nobody else is using it, and then it's really easy to get set up. Typically it takes about a day. The costs are pretty small. I know our firm charges $400 for a one-member LLC, and that includes the $50 filing fee with the Secretary of State. Okay. If there's going to be more members, then we've got to do an operating agreement. You know, because if you and I are going to go into business together, then we need to have something that's going to say, okay, are we going to be 50-50? We're going to be 40-30, 40-60. Gotta make sure my math's right there. And what's going to happen what's going to happen if we get into a fight and we're arguing over the value of the business? I mean, and so the operating agreement kind of controls all of that. And so if there's going to be more than one person, then it's a little bit more.
A little more verbiage.
Because we've got to do a whole separate agreement. But the other thing that people need to stop and think about too is if you have rental properties. If you own, let's say you own a couple duplexes, and maybe you told somebody, yeah, you can have a dog, and you haven't been over there to see what the dog is, but you know that they have a dog, and the dog bites someone. Well, if I'm representing someone who got bit by the dog, the first question I have is, okay, did the landlord know there was a dog? Because maybe I'm going to make a claim against the landlord and the person that owned the dog. And so the landlord, if those rental properties are not in an LLC, I mean, then everything you own can be at risk.
Wow.
And because it's just so simple, The other thing that you need to know, because a lot of people say, well, it just sounds like a hassle. You know, maybe the money to set it up doesn't sound like it's that bad, but then I got to do tax returns and I got to do all of this stuff. And that's not really the case, typically, because LLCs are what we call pass-through entities. So you're still just going to file one tax return. It's going to be your tax return and everything's going to go on it.
The normal tax return.
Just like what you were doing before, only now, but you still have the legal protection. Now, if I owned a rental property, and let's say that you're my tenant, and I know you've got a dog. I say, yeah, you can have your dog, and your dog bites somebody, and now there's a claim. If somebody's going to make a claim against you because you are the tenant, then they're going to make a claim against me because I'm the owner of the building. They're going to make a claim against my LLC if the LLC owns the building.
Okay.
So my personal assets, my personal, bank accounts, my house, everything should be protected.
That's all yours.
That's all protected.
Okay.
And so the only thing they can really get to is the LLC assets which would be that rental property. So there's just really a benefit. There really is. But like I said, we work with a lot of small businesses, a lot of bakers, a lot of landscapers, roofers, those types of people. So.
Yeah, roofing would be another one too because there's a lot of injuries.
There's a lot of injuries, too. Yes, or you just put the roof on and maybe there's leaking and let's say an invaluable piece of artwork was destroyed. I mean, all sorts of things. You think, okay, what could really go wrong? Well, guess what? I wouldn't be in business unless things went wrong.
Right.
And then what's involved for if maybe they're switching businesses or I'm kind of I'm done with this side of things, moving on to something else as far as kind of restructuring.
Right, and it's not, so it's not that difficult to dissolve. We can either let the state administratively dissolve it, which means that you just stop doing anything with it, and when you get the notice for a biannual report, you just ignore that. So, and that's the other thing, because people think, oh gosh, the biannual report, I got to do that, and the whole thing's just going to be a headache. And I know you just got through doing one.
I just got done doing one a couple of weeks ago, and here's how cool Kim Baer and her law office is. I contacted you. I said, hey, I got this form. They want me to renew my LLC. Can you take care of that? And Kim's response was, sure, I can.
Of course.
But you can do it yourself in about 30 seconds.
Yes.
And that way I won't have to charge you for it. And I thought, that is very cool that you even said that.
Yeah.
And you were exactly right. It took about 30 seconds to a minute to do the report. It's what it basically is verifying your information. Is this you? Yes. Is this your address? Yes. You still under this business name? Yes, I am. Done. And that was it.
I mean, there are some things you just really can't handle yourself. And we have clients that say, no, we still want you to do it. And so we charge them a nominal fee to do it. Sure. But I first say to people, are you sure? Because if you look at it and just follow the instructions, it's just not going to take you very long to do it yourself.
Yeah, it was, and it was really slick. So now I won't have to bother you next time. Next time I go, hey, I just finished my report. Instead. But,
and it's all online.
It's that easy. It really is that easy.
It really is that easy. And so our big thing that we just want to make sure people know is that, if you want to protect your family or you want to protect your personal assets, you really should think about doing an LLC.
Yes, very smart. And I've noticed too for those that they do take that step and then they take their business a little bit, for the ones that just have small side businesses, they take it more seriously.
They do.
And they tend to have, more incentive to kind of keep things growing.
Yeah.
I've noticed too.
And it looks cooler.
It's a little more,
And it looks cooler on your business card and on your truck when you put LLC next to your name too.
Well, and you're picking out your names. Now your name's protected.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to, if you're making lollipops and it's Lucy's Lollipops and you've got your name everywhere, you want to make sure you've protected that name.
You never know where it's going to go, right?
You don't. You really don't.
That works.
And it's super easy.
All right, so people want to find out more information about this and how simple this really is. Award winner, we might add.
4 years in a row.
Best of four-timer.
Wow.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Just give us a call at 279-2000. It's a free consultation, and we're happy to sit down and talk to you.
That works. Thank you, Kim Baer.
Great information as always.
All right, 7:38 right now. Don't go too far.